What is up, everyone? So today we have a Tecumseh 3.5 horsepower, tiny little engine. It's old. This means Tecumseh, so of course. But the reason why it's on the table is I believe I even made a video on this, on how to adjust the valves on a flathead. It could have been a different one. I can't quite remember what exactly this is for, but I use this. You can tell the crankshaft has a very odd end to it, so not many applications use that. So I originally came off of a pressure washer, like a 1800 psi or something like that, and anyway, just remember the last time I opened this up, there was like 1,000 different spiders on here. So I'm just going to have to keep a watchful eye on that. But anyway, I use this. I put a different exhaust on there, and I put a can on the end of it with a hole drilled in there, and a conduit, and I use that to kill moles. Well, try to. This is a good piece. Keep that. Anyway, purposes. Lately, it's been really, really hard to start, and then the bowl and the carburetor, I wrote it away. It has a low compression again. It's just really old. I never use it. I have a replacement engine now that actually has a decent stand. So you know what? This one's just gonna get recycled. I don't ever see myself using this engine because of that shaft. But I want the piston out of it and a couple of the parts, like the pull cord or the coil, maybe even this plate. Don't know. So let's go ahead and get the disassembly started. I think the first thing we're going to do is take off the tank, which is going to involve taking off the bolts for the head. So let's just do all of them. Could this engine be saved? Yes, it most definitely could. Do I want to spend the time and or money to do so? No. I think the tank's empty. Yeah, it's empty. Okay, good. That's a nice tank though. I'll keep it. Even if I don't get another Tecumseh, it's nice to have like a spare tank for other types. Okay. I think this is either a 3/8 or 9/16. 3/8. I don't think I'll keep the cover. This coil's good to have. And these. Let's make a pile of everything we're going to keep over here. I took the oil out of it, and it started coming out of the exhaust. That's why there's a towel there. I don't know why. Well, I figured the valve was open, but I don't know why there's so much oil on the cylinder. Is it even shutting? Oh, it is. Okay. It's very odd. It was stored like this. If it was stored on its side, that would make total sense because it would just go through the rings. I mean, you shouldn't store engines on the way they shouldn't be stored. But this is a perplexing one. I don't know why that was like that. These are useful. I don't know about the intake manifold though. Nah. It's probably cast aluminum anyway. Let's check. Yeah, it is. Let's take off the flywheel. Yeah, I'll keep it. The reason why I want to keep it is I'm doing a metal project with old engine parts, and anything that is weldable. I mean, granted, anything is weldable more or less on an engine, even the cast stuff, but not together. It's a little harder that way. I'm going to put you away so you don't damage yourself, and then I'm just going to hit it with a hammer and bring it back. I know what you're thinking. You have the fear of missing out. Trust me, there was nothing missed. You literally just hammer it on there with a crowbar behind it. Pops right off. This I do want to keep. Because while that is cast iron, it's still iron. Ah. These are parallel pliers. The more you squeeze them, the jaws will never really angle like a normal pair of pliers would. This is a very different style of key. Usually it's not like that. Or maybe it's just broken. I don't think so though. Is that necessary? No. I'll just leave it on. It might help stabilize. We can do this. So like I said, I did drain the oil, but it is cold in here. So there will be oil in here. Probably a lot. Probably really bad. And probably gonna get everywhere. I'm hoping with such a weird crank, this shouldn't come off very hard. Sometimes they're a real dog. Ah, that's the gasket we're getting hung up on. Knew it. Very good. Yeah. There's definitely oil there. Oh, dropping everything. We do not want to keep these though. We do want to keep a couple of these because I'm going to be putting the back on. Cam, I'm going to get a towel. Okay, a few towels. I want this cam. Huh. A lot of the newer engines, like the clones for the Predators or Hondas even, they have like curved or slanted teeth. It makes them real difficult to put in sometimes. These are straight. Looks like they're involute, but they're straight. So that's nice. Take some tappets. A little wear on there. That was the exhaust. And this one, same. A little wear, not bad. All in all, it's in pretty good shape. Governor arm. And governor still plastic. I'm not going to bother with that. What size do you think that is? 1/4 inch? 3/16? I'm thinking 5/16. Nope, 1/4. Also very hard to get to. Like that. They usually don't come off that difficult. There we go. Ah, they're so slippery. Those are probably good to have. Now that that's off, we should be able to take that, clean it up, let's inspect it. It's a little scored, but all in all pretty good. Some of those edges are sharp, so be careful. You don't want to cut yourself, especially since your hands are probably covered in oil. What do we have here? One of our main prizes. I was about to say, man, it's really clean in here, but we just did clean it. Look at the size of these rings. They're huge. Well, they're wide. See, you don't see this type of quality anymore. There's a reason why this was probably ran for hundreds of hours, and probably still could. If it wasn't for that stupid end on it, this could have been a completely repairable engine. But wow, I'm actually kind of impressed. People give Tecumseh's a lot of crap, and so do I, don't get me wrong. I've joined that bandwagon many of times, but I've always thought the engines were good, just not the carbs. I think most people can agree with that one. Well, anyone who ever used a Tecumseh before. Okay, now... Wow, that was uneventful. I'll make sure the oil doesn't overflow. Now the main piece I wanted. Yeah, it has a little boo-boos there. Not too bad though. That could have just been the aluminum from the connecting rod though. Maybe. Okay, so I'm just going to put the cover back on, and we're going to take a look at the side for the valves. Or maybe the valves are just... no, the valves have keepers on them. Okay, so I'm going to put this back on, bring you back. We'll go ahead and take off the valves. Okay, let's do this. Nah, I'll just recycle. Ooh. Okay, good. Same thing with this. This is just going to get recycled. I don't remember how these keeps work. Yeah, there we go. You just have to find the open area in this. It's always a difficult one. Well, we at least have this. See what I mean? I see it. There we go. There we are. 2 keepers. Okay. Well, I think the only other thing I want to do is look at the bore. I think the last time I looked at it, it wasn't too bad, but something had to happen. Oh yeah, there's score marks in there. Oh wow. Because it was just having a really hard time starting. And it would run momentarily and stop. I thought it was just a carb issue. And then I cleaned the carb, put it back on, and then I noticed it was doing the same thing and leaking because it was also out of gas. And I noticed the bowl had a small pinhole in it, which happens on these a lot actually. And yeah, so now it's here. So is there anything else I want to keep? No, I think that's about it. So we have the flywheel, pull start, coil, tank. I'm not going to keep the filter in there, but I'm going to keep the cover, piston, connecting rod, dipper, valves, need to be cleaned. Even the piston head, or the cylinder head will be a pretty good little piece to keep. So I'll do that. And then crankcase, or crank, so yeah, it's a pretty decent amount of, oh, and cam, and tappets, I forgot about those. So a decent amount of stuff on here I can use. Keep an eye out for that. It's going to be a project I'm going to do. If you ever seen those little piston character guys, that's going to be that, except it's going to be my take on it, which is going to be just a little bit different than everyone else's, I guess. Okay, well, this is how you tear apart a Tecumseh engine. All the parts that are in there, really surprising about that piston ring, and anything that you can use, anything that you can take from it. These are what you would, let's see, what, if you weren't going to use the metal, what would you take from it? The tank, pull starter, coil, flywheel key, that's all I would take from it, at least. Everything else is just kind of what I want from it, but that's a standard way how you would take that stuff off, or how you would use it. But anyway, if you like what you see, keep on watching. Definitely subscribe, put a thumbs up, that helps me out a lot. I'll keep making them. And yeah, have a good night. Later.